Okay. The plane skygram of abdomen. The anterior posterior plane skygram of the abdomen has been named variously. It is called straight film in case of emergency or in acute abdomen because we are not doing any abdominal preparation while taking the straight film, or it is called KUB to visualize or examine the kidney, ureter, and the bladder. It is called KUB film. To study the abdomen, we must know the bony shadows, soft tissue shadows, gas shadows, and abnormal shadows. In bony shadows, we see the lower ribs, both right and left side, the dome of the diaphragm, right and the left lobe of the diaphragm, and the thoracic and the lumbar vertebrae. These are the tips of the transverse process of the lumbar vertebrae. Can you see? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we can also appreciate the sacrum bone, which is forming the sacroiliac joint on both the side, right and the left. The iliac crest. You are able to appreciate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the soft tissue shadow. In soft tissue shadow, under the right dome of the diaphragm, sometimes we see the lower edge of the liver. On the left side, we must appreciate the lower pole of the left kidney and the spleen, and the below the below the left dome of the diaphragm or under the left dome of the diaphragm, we see the air in the fundus of the stomach. You can see. Are you able to
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate? Now, along the tips of the transverse process of the lumbar vertebrae, we see a lateral margin of the psoas muscle. Can you see this line?
Ma'am,
The
it's
oblique,
ma'am.
the oblique line. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It comes under the soft tissue shadows in the abdomen. In abdominal X-ray, we see from the diaphragm to the symphysis pubis. ठीक है? We see the hip bone, the iliac crest, both the iliac crest right and the left, the sacroiliac joint, the transverse process of the lumbar vertebrae, the sacrum with sacral foramina, the coccyx. Now the gaze shadows. The gaze shadows under the fundus of the stomach, under the left dome of the diaphragm. In the center, we see the small bowel, and on the periphery, we see the shadows of the large bowel. These shadows of the bowel, they are scattered intestinal gas shadows. The small bowel shadows are seen in the center, and the large bowel shadows are seen along the periphery. ठीक है? Abnormal shadows are seen in case of different diseases. Okay? Here we can see the leverage under the right dome of the diaphragm. Here the margin of the lateral margin of the psoas muscle. Here we can see the inferior pole of the left kidney, and then the fundus of the stomach under the left dome of the diaphragm. Again here, liver under the right dome of the diaphragm, the right kidney, hepatic flexure of the colon, the margin of the psoas muscle, the ascending colon, fifth lumbar vertebrae, the sacrum, the sacroiliac joint, iliac crest, descending colon, the psoas muscle lateral margin, the 12th rib, the left kidney lower pole, the splenic flexure, and the spleen. and bladder in the pelvic cavity. This is the symphysis pubis. Now here the ribs. Along the tips of the transverse process of the lumbar vertebrae, we can appreciate the course of the ureter. Here at the tips of the transverse process of the lumbar vertebrae and at the sacroiliac joint, and then uretropelvic junction at the ischial spine, and then bladder. We can see bladder, how it fills. If the bladder is empty, it appears triangular. If it also the shape of the bladder is variable because it depends on the how fill it is. Okay, it may be oval or it may be triangular. You can appreciate. Hello. Hello.
Ma'am, there is a lot of disturbance in the background.
Shall I repeat? Hello? These are the lower ribs.
No, ma'am.
These are the lower ribs. Then in this picture, we can see the course of the ureter from the tips of the transverse process of the lumbar vertebrae, then along the sacroiliac joint, then at ischial spine, at the level of the ischial spine, the vesico-ureteric junction. Then we see the bladder. The shape of the bladder is visible, or it depends on how it fills. It appears triangular usually, but if it fills or if any kind of pathology, so it appears different. Okay? You can appreciate the marked arrow. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now again, 11th and the 12th ribs, you can appreciate the lever under the right dome of the diaphragm, the margins of the lateral margin of the psoas muscle on both the side, the hepatic flexor. The scattered intestinal gas shadows are seen as a large or small bowel because there is hostrations are present in the large bowel, and in small bowel, which is centrally placed, there is a valvular conjunctivis. So because of these, there is a scattered gas schedule you can appreciate. Okay, so this is the hepatic flexor of the colon. Now the iliac crest, sacrum. The bladder is here. Gas in the cecum. Splenic flexor of the colon, the left kidney, under the left dome of the diaphragm, the fundus of the stomach, the air in the fundus of the stomach, and the left kidney lower pole, the transverse colon, gas in the sigmoid colon, the sacroiliac joint, and the femoral head, acetabular notch. You can appreciate. Remember the ascending colon, descending colon, and the rectum. They are not variable in position, but the transverse colon, the sigmoid colon, and the cecum, they are variable in positions. In case of any dilatation, because they have a certain measurement for their lumen, 3, 6, 9. 3 for the small bowel, and large bowel it is 6 centimeter, and for cecum it is 9 centimeter. So you can appreciate if there is any obstruction because it appears dilated. We can study in barium enema, barium meal. Now the joint, the sacroiliac joint, right joint and the left joint, the fifth lumbar vertebra, the posterior inferior spine, the greater sciatic notch, the acetabulum in which the head of the femur fits, the femur, the central part of the head of the femur is fovea, the femoral neck, the intertrochanteric crest, the greater trochanter, the lesser trochanter, and the femur, the symphysis pubis, superior ramus of the pubis, obturator foramen, ischial tuberosity, anterior inferior iliac spine, anterior superior iliac spine, ilium and crest of the ilium. Now you can appreciate this is the sacrum, sacroiliac joint, coccyx, fifth lumbar vertebra, sacral promontory. In this picture, the colon anatomy emphasized by the distribution of the barium and a gas in the colon. You must know all the marks. Here, the barium is mixed with the fecal matter and the black shadow is showing the gas. The gas appears black on the film. Okay? The first one is the appendix. Second is cecum. It appears much dilated. Normally it is 9 centimeter dilatation. ठीक है? ये ascending colon. Third point. Fourth point hepatic flexor. Fifth point transverse colon. Sixth splenic flexure of colon. Seventh descending colon. Eighth sigmoid colon. 9 rectum. Now you can appreciate. It will all ask you in examination.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the renal calyces. It will all study in the pylography or the urography, but I am showing you here. I will explain in next slide in detail. You can see the calyces, renal calyces, renal pelvis, which is funnel shaped. Renal calyces are cup shaped because renal papilla are projecting into it. Now the abdominal ureter along the tips of the transverse process of the lumbar vertebrae. Now the pelvic ureter or urinary bladder. It appears triangular. Again, the scattered intestinal gas shadows are seen. It is of the bowel, small bowel and the large bowel. The small bowel is centrally placed and the large bowel is at periphery. Hepatic flexure, the gas shadow in the hepatic flexure. Stomach shadow, the fundus air, the spleen, the splenic flexure, the volvula conniventis in the small bowel, which is at the central, and Hostra in the large bowel. The abdominal X-ray showing the colon and the stomach very well. You can see the colon and the air in the fundus of the stomach under left dome of the diaphragm. You can see. You can appreciate the ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, hepatic flexure, splenic flexure of colon, the rectum, cecum. You can appreciate it is normal. There is no obstruction, there is no dilatation, it is normal. It's all filled with the air, so it appears black. The hostrations or saculations in the large bowel. You can see in case of obstruction, the barium or the fecal matter mixed with the barium and it appears bright white color. Now I can change.
Yes, ma'am.
Here the jejunal loops, the volvula conniventis. Between the volvula conniventis, these volvula conniventis in the small bowel, they are very closely placed and they extend from wall to wall. In case of obstruction, if any radiographic film is taken, they appear cold spring-like appearance. They show because of the air in between them and the fecal material. The peritoneal fat line, the ascending colon. Here you can see the air or black shadow in the ascending colon. Normally we see The scattered gas shadows in the bowels, small bowels and the large bowel both. See the hostrations. These hostrations do not extend wall to wall. In between them, there is no bridge. Plica semilunaris का नाम सुना है? They form the bridge of soft tissue between them. Hostrations or sacculations are seen in the large bowel. And volvulae conniventis, these are closely placed. In case of obstruction, they appear very close and give the spring coiled appearance. In case of obstruction, these are the features of the small bowel, volvulae conniventis. In contrast radiography, first we start with the barium studies, the barium meal. First, to visualize the alimentary canal or examine it radiologically, we use barium. Why we are using barium? Because barium is a high molecular weight radio-opaque substance. Barium is harmless to our body because it's not absorbed into the gastrointestinal tract. Barium is insoluble in water. That's why it remains suspended or forms emulsion in water. The principle involved is the passage of the barium through the lumen outlines the mucosal pattern which can be examined under fluoroscopy or radiographed on a film. ठीक है? Before the barium meal examination, we must give some instruction to the patient not to eat or drink 6 hours before the examination. To get a clear picture or clear film or to know the obstruction, to know the every detail. Okay? Administration of contrast medium, 300 to 400 ml of 5% sodium iodide, 5% barium sulfate suspension is given or made to drink to the patient. And then the film is examined under the fluoroscopy. In barium meal, the film is taken at different time. Stomach and duodenum we can take as soon the patient drinks the barium sulfate. Okay. We can see the fundus of the stomach. Here the barium passage into a narrow lumen or canalization. Then it pass into the pyloric antrum of the stomach. Here at the junction of the body of the stomach and pyloric antrum of the stomach forms the angular notch. Here the lesser omentum increase abruptly and which is called incisura angularis. It will all ask you in examination, the angular notch. It is important for your examination. This is the body of the stomach. This is the angular notch. We can appreciate the pyloric antrum. Stomach and duodenum we can radiograph immediately after the drink. The first part of the duodenum as duodenal bulb, which is constricted, and rest part of the duodenum is hidden. We can't appreciate here. The second part of the duodenum. Okay. Now after 3 to 4 hours, it reaches the ileocecal region and the hepatic flexure of the colon in 6 hours, in splenic flexure of the colon in 9 hours, and in descending colon it reaches in 11 hours, and in sigmoid colon it reaches in 16 hours. And in 16 to 24 hours it evacuated from the intestine. It may persist in the intestine for several days. Now here you can see the fundus of the stomach. Here the shadow, air, the body, the greater curvature, the lesser curvature, incisura angularis, the duodenal bulb or the duodenal cap. It is formed due to the poorly developed circular folds of the mucous membrane, the pylorus part of the stomach, the duodenal second portion, and the antrum. Here the stomach and duodenum immediately after the drink or We can take this radiographic film at this point after taking the drink. It will evacuate in 16 to 24 hours and in large intestine persist for several days. In stomach, barium forms a triangular mass below the air in fundus. It descends in narrow stream to pylorus. Network. Network में आना। Now you can see duodenum. The first part is the duodenal cap formed by the poorly developed circular muscle folds and protruding pylorus into it. The rest of the duodenum has characteristic feathery appearance due to presence of the circular folds. The jejunum and the ileum, the greater part is feathery appearance due to presence of transverse mucosal folds and their rapid movements. The terminal part is narrow and show a homogeneous shadow of barium. The large intestine better examined by the barium enema because of better filling, postrations or circulation prominent in proximal part and disappear in the distal part. Curvatures at the flexures, superimposition of shadow seen, appendix occasionally visible. Contrast, you can appreciate the cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, the sigmoid colon and the terminal ileum. The hepatic flexure of the colon on the right side, splenic flexure on the left side, the transverse colon, transversely, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum and anal canal. Cecum, the normal barium enema. Now you are able to appreciate the rectum and sigmoid colon appear much dilated and the colon shows characteristic hostrations. The outline of the colon and hostra may be accentuated by the double contrast method in which the barium is evacuated and air is injected through the anus to distend the colon. The barium swallow, another study, is a diagnostic radiology exam using an X-ray to examine the upper GIT, upper gastrointestinal tract, specifically the esophagus, throat and the back of the mouth, to know the structural or functional issues of the upper GIT tract. Here the constriction in the esophagus, you can appreciate the mouth, the back of the mouth, the throat. Here the normal esophagus, you can see. Now the pylography or the urography, to examine or to visualize the urinary tract, the kidney, ureter and the bladder and their functioning, the anatomical and physiological assessment of the kidney. When the dye is injected intravenously directly into the vein. It is known as excretory, intravenous or descending pyelography. When the dye is injected directly into the ureter through ureteric catheter guided through cystoscope, it is called retrograde instrumental or ascending pyelography. Here, the minor calyces, which is cup shaped because of the renal papilla projecting into it, the renal pelvis, which is funnel shaped, the ureter along the tips of the transverse process of the lumbar vertebra, the sacroiliac joint, right and the left, the uretropelvic junction at the level of the ischial spine, and the urinary bladder. The right ureteric kinks, the site at which the ureter crosses the iliac vessels. The uretrovesical junction, the early bladder swelling. Left ureter, papilla, renal pelvis, major calyx. In excretory, intravenous or descending pyelography, we must instruct the patient that 8 hours before the pyelography, patient should stop every oral intake or any kind of fluid. If he or she is taking any kind of drugs like diuretics, he must stop. And then just before the procedure, the patient is asked to empty the bladder. Then administration of 20 to 40 ml of warm iodine compound, which is selectively excreted by the kidney, we inject intravenously. Now the series of skygrams are taken at 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 30 minutes. In 15 to 20 minutes, it reaches at its maximum concentration, and by 30 minutes, the dye fills the bladder completely. The excretory, intravenous or descending pyelography is both the anatomical and the physiological assessment of the kidney, but it also helps in the assessment of the functional status of the kidney. In this, we see the minor calyces are cup-shaped, the renal pelvis is funnel-shaped, the ureter along the tips of the transverse process, sacroiliac joint, ischial spine and up to the bladder. Why we are using this anterograde or the excretory intravenous descending pyelography? Because if the kidney is taking or if the renal pelvis admits more than 10 ml of the dye, we can suspect the hydronephrosis, uretropelvic junction obstruction and the obstruction of the ureter. The retrograde instrumental or ascending pyelography. Here, the abdominal preparation before 8 hours of the procedure, no oral fluid is taken by the patient, discontinue all the diuretic drugs and empty the bladder before the procedure. In this, the cystoscope is introduced into the bladder through the urethra. Then the ureteric catheter is guided into the ureteric opening and passed into the renal pelvis. Through the catheter, 5 to 10 ml of 6 to 8% sodium iodide is injected. The renal pelvis is filled to its capacity. When the patient complains of pain, we must stop. That's why general anesthesia is contraindicated in this procedure too, because of risk of the over distension of the pelvis. If more than 10 ml of dye, then hydronephrosis is suspected. In ascending can be distinguished from the descending, because in ascending only one pelvis can be outlined and we can clearly see the ureteric catheter. Here the normal antegrade pyelogram and obstructed pyelogram. We can see both the kidney, renal calyces, ureter, renal pelvis. Here we can see only one side, means there is obstruction or there is some kind of pathology in this. The difference between the retrograde pylography and anterograde pylography. Antegrade pylography can do if retrograde pylography is not possible and other imaging doesn't offer enough details. Retrograde pylography gives accurate details of the ureter and collecting system anatomy, good if renal insufficiency or in case of risk for contrast. Lupogram used for evaluation of patient with cutaneous diversions. Now hysterosalpingography. Hysterosalpingography is done to visualize and examine the uterus and the uterine tube and to confirm the patency of the tubes. Also in the diagnosis of anomalies of the female genital tract. The radiograph taken is known as the hysterosalpingogram, done within 5 to 10 days of the first 5 to 10 days of the menstrual cycle. In this, the tight fitting cannula is introduced into the internal os of the cervix, then cannula is connected to the syringe from which the 5 to 10 ml of the iodized oil or the lipiodol is injected. The spilling of the dye into the peritoneal cavity is noted. Here you can see the spilling of dye. It means there is no blockage in the fallopian tubes. They are all normal. In second, there is no spillage of dye into the peritoneal cavity. They are bilateral blockage. Now you can see the uterus, open fallopian tube. You can see the dye into the fallopian tube, ampulla and the fimbriae ovary. Here the tube is blocked. The dye is not passed into the ampulla of the fallopian tube. Now identify the marked structure. What is the arrow showing? Answer it.
Ma'am, the margin of the psoas, border of psoas major.
लेफ्ट साइड ना, ये भी लिखना है. नेक्स्ट वन, आइडेंटिफाई द मार्क स्ट्रक्चर.
Descending
Are you able
colon
to
left
see?
side.
No.
Sigmoid colon.
No. It is at the left sacroiliac joint. दिख रहा है sacroiliac joint, sacrum you can appreciate.
Yes, ma'am.
दिख रहा है? Sacrum.
Yes, ma'am.
Now these all are abdominal X-rays of our departments. You can see the pylography. Which type of pylography? There is some instrument. ठीक है, इंस्ट्रूमेंट में क्या होता है? असेंड होती है कोई भी डाई, असेंडिंग. ठीक है, और क्या नाम है इसका? इंस्ट्रूमेंटल, असेंडिंग और रिट्रोग्रेड. अंडरस्टूड?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now this second. What is the arrow mark structure? They all are from the departmental X-ray. It will help you in your exam. Identify this. This is the duodenal bulb or duodenal cap. First part of the duodenum poorly developed because of the poorly developed circular mucous folds. Here there is some kind of obstruction. You can see the outlines along the walls of the loop. Feathery appearance. Small bowl में है ये. This X-ray is showing obstruction. Now the last one. Identify the marked arrow structure. What is this?
Splenic flexure.
Splenic
Very
flexure.
good. Very good. You can see the air in the transverse colon. You can see hepatic flexure of colon. You can see ascending colon. Then the barium is intermixed with the fecal matter. So there is some kind of obstruction, or we can appreciate. Now here the small bowel is centrally placed. Scattered intestinal gas shadow we can see. Yes or no? You can see?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope you all understood.
Yes, ma'am.
If there is
Yes,
any
ma'am.
doubt, you can write in chat box. We will reply as soon as possible. Okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.